Ninja!
Welcome to another edition of Fish or Ninja, the show where you send in your hand history and Card Player TV has a pro review it to tell you whether you are a fish or a poker ninja. In this episode, Dan Smith will be passing judgment on a hand Zack M played in a 9-handed 10-cent, 25-cent rush no-limit hold'em game. The player in the hijack, or 2 to the right of the button, raises to 75 cents with about $26 to start the hand, and a VPIP of 11 and a PFR of 7. Our hero has $27.50 and calls from the small blind with pocket aces. The big blind with $19 and a VPIP of 13, PFR of 6, calls.
The first decision in the hand, calling the open with aces, is something I would do absolutely never. When you're playing 10 cent, 25 cent, your opponents are not looking to fold, so whenever you have a good hand, you should really be looking to take advantage of that and just put a lot of money in there. I would 3-bet and 3-bet big. I imagine people are going to call. And even at higher stakes, I'd be a lot more likely to 3-bet than normal because the dude is playing 11-7. So that means he's probably got something, so he's going to be calling your 3-bet a huge percent of the time anyway.
The flop comes 6-4-6 rainbow. The hero checks, and the big blind now bets $1.90 into the $2.25 pot, and the hijack folds. The hero calls.
Given that you called, which isn't like out of control bad, but something you shouldn't really be doing, I think check calling the flop is pretty reasonable. You give the guy an option to pair up, and if he hits like a 10 with king 10, he's very likely going to put all sorts of money into the pot. The downside is when you let him off the hook, if he has like 2 9s in his hand, and a turn comes a king or something along those lines, he doesn't continue to put money in. But it's not the end of the world. It's an understandable call.
The turn is a 5, still a rainbow board. Our hero checks, and the big blind now bets full pot, $6.05. The hero check raises all in, and is snap called by the pocket 5s of the big blind for a turn full house. Our hero does not suck out and loses the pot.
On the turn when the guy pots it, I'd be pretty happy to get it in. They could have all over pairs, and given that you have aces, you have the best of the over pairs. And they could have all sorts of silly hands. They could have pair and straight draws, or something real stupid, or ace-7 that they'll just bet and call it off. So on the turn, I'd be pretty happy to get it in, and it's just unfortunate the guy happened to hit a boat on you. I'm gonna have to go ninja fish. Like, none of the decisions were terrible, but none of them were like especially great or anything. And I feel, and even though it's like the most boring decision, like people never like to talk about their pre-flop decisions, but I'd say it's the most important one in the hand, you know? You could have just jacked it a pre-flop and you didn't. So maybe if it would have been raised pre-flop, you can get the ninja status, but as such, you're stuck to ninja fish.